Hey there, Samantha with Empower Performance Therapy. So I had a client ask about high hamstring pain that he was having while on the road bike during sprint intervals. Now this video is going to be a tiny little rehab session that you can do at home to treat a pain similar. But the first thing we need to do is determine whether this is glute, hamstring, or one of the tiny hip stabilizers, the gemellus, the obturator, that do external rotation of the femur onto the hip. Now, really hard to differentiate between those without having a evaluation done by certified athletic trainer, orthopedic physician, or a physical therapist who's trained in sports injuries. So that's going to be your first step, but if you've already narrowed it down to a high hamstring, then watch on for some tips and tricks to do at home to get yourself over that hurdle. So the first thing you're going to want to do to treat this high hamstring chronic pain is you're going to want to mobilize the tissue right around the place where the hamstring originates, and that's going to be around that sit bone, the ischial tuberosity. Best way to do this? A small ball, like a tennis ball, golf ball, lacrosse ball. So you're gonna set the ball down, lift yourself up, sit your hips down right on there. Find that sit bone, find that ischial tuberosity, and roll yourself around on that. So you do that with legs straight, see how it feels. Do it with the knee bent up, see how that feels. Do it with your leg falling out to the side and see how that feels. Roll around in circles, find the little spots in there where the tendon, where the muscles pop, where they're painful, and those are the places that you want to really, really focus on. All right, first up after your tennis ball mobility, we want to work on a hip hike, and so that works on one of the outer stabilizers, one of the abductors of the hip that really helps to stabilize the hips as those hamstrings are moving through their range of motion. So, leg on the step is the leg that we're working on. You want to keep that knee straight, drop the opposite hip, and then drive it up. Drop and drive up. It's a little awkward to get used to, especially keeping the leg on the stair straight, keeping that knee straight. But as you rock up and down, you'll find that hip moment, that movement there, or opening up and shutting it down. Lateral band walks and monster walks are two exercises that are crucial for really building hip stability around the pelvis to protect the hamstring as it constantly goes through that cycling motion, hip extension, hip extension, hip extension. You need those stabilizers in there to protect it so it doesn't overwork itself, because if those muscles aren't strong, our legs start to fall out to the side a little bit, and that puts extra strain and stress on the hamstring. So with a looped band around your ankles, you can also take your long TheraBand and make an X, one foot on each side, cross the band. Really make that tummy strong, shoulders back, chest up. Keep those hips and knees bent and just side to side with the tension of the band. You're going to want to do that for an extended length through your hallway, whatever you can manage, until those butt muscles start to burn. Another band that you can use is a looped band like this one, got a pull-up assistance band. You do an X the same way as you would with the long TheraBand. For the monster walks, now we're getting to that same position, tummy tight, shoulders back and down, chest up, hips and knees slightly bent. Now you're going to do these big zigzag steps. Make sure that those toes stay pointed forward. Zigzag up, together, left, together, right, together, and then after you feel the burn, back, together, right, together, back, together. And those are monster walks. Next up, we want to work on a rotational stability for the hip as well as that hip extension for which the hamstring assists, as well as with the glute. So standing on the affected leg, tummy tight, shoulders pinched. You want to kind of pivot forward just with the bending the hip. Slight bend to the knee if you need. Come down, reach for a water bottle, and then use that glute and that hamstring to come back up. Back down, put the water bottle back. Make your way back up. We're going to turn this way so you can see it this way a little bit. I'll use the leg closest to you. You want a slight bend to the knee. Keep the opposite leg nice and straight. As you pivot forward as far as you can control it, reach for that water bottle, grab it, and then squeeze that hamstring and that glute to come back up. All right, back to the step that you have in your house. This one we want to pay a little bit of attention to because we want to work on eccentric hip extension. So we really want to lengthen that hamstring as it contracts. So muscles, tendons love this while they're trying to heal from those chronic overuse injuries. And so what this looks like is a little side squat on the step, single leg style. So opposite leg's going to be out as a counterbalance, and you're going to control, drop down till that opposite leg hits, and then slow, 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 slow come back up. You can use the railing or the beam in front of you as balance, but don't use it to pull yourself up, okay? So again, you want to drop down with control, and then slow, slow, slowly bring yourself back up. So after you've finished all of the strengthening exercises, all the therapeutic exercises, we need to give a little stretch to that muscle. Now, one of the best ways to get to that really deep insertion in there is this twisted figure 4 that I've got for you. So you want to take the affected leg, cross that ankle over the opposite knee. So basic figure 4 stretch, but we're going to take it deeper. So slide that all the way over and around. Go ahead and lay down on your back. Now grab the outer knee, which is going to be the opposite knee, and pull towards your opposite shoulder. Okay, you can relax all the way down. As you pull that towards the opposite shoulder, you're going to get a really nice stretch here deep into the hip rotator joint and that high hamstring as well. All right, now that you've seen the videos, just a couple of things to remember. Make sure to do this before you ride and before you do your strength training to put that hamstring or those deep hip rotators into the best biomechanical position possible. They get activated before they head out and do the strenuous workouts. So best to do it beforehand. I would still recommend stretching, doing the twisted figure 4 after your ride as well. Holding it for 1 full minute, 2 if you've got the time. We've all got an extra minute, right? There you go. And if you have any questions, go ahead and feel free to email me at trainempowered@gmail.com or leave some comments below. Train Empowered.